James Turner for the untouchable True School Sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so guys, a lot of research went into this video because this weekend, whether you know it or not, there is a important fight at 168 for the IBF title. You got William Scull against Vladimir Shishkin. Obviously, this is a fight that's not going to get a lot of fanfare because both these guys, they're not big names. They don't have big promoters behind them. But one of these guys could wind up being either Canelo's next opponent or being a big fight after. So I think it's important that we, the boxing fans, pay attention. And that I, True School Sports on Whole Boxing, give you guys the large picture and just talk about this fight. So let's start with this fight. Let's start with the fight, and let me give you guys a speed on William Scull and Vladimir Shishkin. So we'll start with William Scull. William Scull is a fighter that most people didn't know who he was until he was Canelo's mandatory, and Canelo vacated the belt to go fight Edgar Berlanga, which didn't really draw a whole lot of criticism because William Scull wasn't known and Berlanga was Puerto Rican, so they had the whole Canelo versus the Mexico versus Puerto Rico dynamic going. It was a big event. It did well. It sold well, and there was that. But I'll tell you all this. I just sat through. I just spent the last 30, 40 minutes of my life researching William Scull, watching him fight, and I think it's very safe to say that he's better than Edgar Berlanga. I think he's a more skilled fighter than Edgar Berlanga. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Canelo ducked him, but it's up for interpretation. William Scull, style-wise, he's Cuban, right? He's one of those elusive Cuban boxers, likes to box with his hands down, very slick with the upper body movement, can counterpunch. These are the attributes I would use to describe William Scull. He's got 9 knockouts in 22 fights, so he's not like the biggest puncher in the world, but I think the knockout ratio is a bit deceptive. He does have some pop. I just think that he doesn't put his punches together enough, because if he did, I think his knockout percentage would be a little bit higher, but 9 knockouts in 22 fights is what he has right now. So as far as him, right, so just going through his career, William Scull actually became the IBF mandatory in July of 2022 when he beat Evgeny Shevchenko, who was 15-0 at the time. Again, another fight that didn't have a lot of fanfare. He became mandatory at that time. So he's been waiting 2 years and gone through some stuff with Canelo to get this fight. So he's going to be hungry. He's one of those Cubans who has a big amateur background, but he signed to a German promoter, Aragon Sports, and this fight is actually going to be like most of his fights in Germany. So he actually is the A-side fighter in this fight, believe it or not. So that's him. I think he's a slick boxer, got okay power, has a bit of a wide base. So if you're a counter puncher, and you make him miss, you can make him pay because he's a single shot fighter and he has a very wide stance. So there's that. On the other side, we got Vladimir Shishkin, a guy that I'm very familiar with because this is a guy in Vladimir Shishkin who has been training in South Florida for a while now. I met Vladimir when he was training at Warriors Boxing Gym with Sugar Hill Stewart. I've seen him at Delray Beach Boxing Gym with Sugar Hill Stewart. This is a guy that when he turned pro all those years ago, yes, he's Russian, but he's not like a lot of these Russian fighters. He didn't have a big amateur background. He wasn't a sought-after, big-time Russian talent, but he's a guy that I feel like over the years, fight by fight, he's been polishing up. He's been getting better. He's been getting top sparring. I mean, I know just from his time in South Florida, he sparred guys like David Benavidez, Anthony Durrell, and then he also sparred Ben Whitaker when he was down there as well. And this is like one of Sugar Hill Stewart's main fighters, believe it or not. If you see Sugar Hill Stewart in South Florida, this is only one of the guys you always see with them is Vladimir Shishkin, right? So I think he's had a really good career and he's improved with time. Knocked guys out like Najib Mohammadi, Senag Beko. Was a good win for him. Also beat Jose Uzcategui, and then in his last fight, he beat the very tough, durable veteran fighter Mike Guy. So if you're looking at in this fight who has the better resume, Vladimir Shishkin has the better resume, right? So there's that. Vladimir, I think, has gotten really good at not just boxing behind his jab over the years, but also putting his punches together and becoming a better power puncher as his career has progressed. And I think this fight for Vladimir is happening at the right time. He's had 16 fights, 113 rounds in the pros, a lot of good sparring in between that, been consistent. I think I'm leaning slightly towards Vladimir. I like Vladimir because I think William Scull is a good fighter. Don't get it twisted. William Scull can fight. He's a slick boxer. William Scull beat Sean Hemphill, who was a very highly rated fighter and the upcoming fighter in the 168 division. He beat him on the undercard of Canelo Munguia. But I think William Scull's detriment in this fight is going to be his wide base. You know, he's going to get away with it, I think, in the early rounds. He'll probably bank some of the early rounds. But that wide stance, it's going to allow for Vladimir Shishkin to push him back and probably make those legs very, very tired. So I'm going with Vladimir. I think Vladimir is going to win this fight. I think Vladimir winds up probably stopping William Scull in the probably later rounds. But yeah, one thing I will say too, he is the B-side fighter in this fight, so I think he kind of needs a stoppage because if this fight is close at all, you got to think that William Scull will get the nod with this being on his promotions card. But again, one thing about Vladimir Shishkin and Sugar Hill Stewart fighters, it don't matter if it's Tyson Fury, Adonis Stevenson, or Vladimir himself. They don't train for 12. They don't train to go the distance. They train for knockouts. So I know that's what we'll be looking for, and I know that William Scull will be looking to box and move. So it's all really about, like anything else in boxing, it's all really about who imposes their will in this fight. And the winner of this fight, I firmly believe, more than likely will be in the running for it. They'll become an option for a Canelo fight because look, one thing about Canelo is he knows when to take the right fights at the right time, and he knows how to play on public perception. He uses it to his advantage. So if Canelo Alvarez fights the winner of this fight and beats them, that makes him a 2-time undisputed champion, even though it's kind of bullshit because he vacated the belt. But it doesn't matter. He could actually become a 2-time undisputed champion by beating the winner of this fight. So I think that fighter will be Vladimir Shishkin. I just don't like William Scull's wide stance. I think it's going to tire him out, and he's going to have to move more than he's accustomed to because Vladimir Shishkin is a very big. He's an educated boxer. He's a very well-schooled boxer, but he's also someone that does know how to land his big shots, set up his big shots, and he's gotten better with that over the years. So I like Vladimir to get William Scull in the later rounds. But it's a good fight. It's a good fight, and I think one that boxing fans should pay attention to. And yeah, there's that. So that's my thoughts on the fight. That's my thoughts on both fighters. I just spent like 45 minutes to an hour like researching stuff for this video, but I want to know what you guys think. I know we have a very educated fan base here on True School Sports. If you guys know anything about William Scull or Vladimir Shishkin that I didn't mention, some tidbits you want to maybe pass along to me, let me know in the comments down below, because this is a fight that's not really being talked about. There's not a ton of information on either of these guys, and yeah, so leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canastota, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.